The PS5 price hike is here, and whether you've had one since launch or recently got one, it raises a fair question. Has this generation actually been worth it? We're sitting back and properly reviewing the PS5 era, the standout games, the missed moments, and whether we've taken the generation for granted. We've also got Scott getting lost in Hyrule, I'm still obsessing over Raccoin and Crimson Desert, and in the Pixel Picks Showdown, we're crowning the greatest timeless classic game. All this and more on this week's Pixel Parents podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents podcast, a show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I'm your host Liam Kelvin, and today I'm of course joined by the bearded one, Scott, the OG tastemaker Curry. How are we, Scott?
I'm very well. My glasses have steamed up just at the moment you asked me that question.
Have that effect on people, Scott?
Don't look at my dark eyes. The glasses hide all the pain. I'm very well. I mean, as well as one can be after what happened after the show was recorded last week, but I'm sure we'll get to that point.
Wait. We have to explain exactly what happened, Scott, because it is hilarious. The people must know.
Right. So, on Thursday's now bin day in the Curry household. It used to be a Monday morning, but now it's a Thursday morning. And I had come home from work and had forgotten that was the case. So I was like, right, get the bins out. But when you're putting the bins out, empty the bins that are in the house so that you can just take everything all out at once. So I was doing it. Everything was fine. And then I realised it's a red bin and a grey bin day. So it's bottles and food waste. And they're not full, Liam. They're not full. So I was like, maybe I'll just leave it. It's only going to be another 4 weeks' time, and it's not going to get any more full by then, so I might leave it. But I thought, you know what? No, I better do it. So I took the grey bin out first of all. No bother, absolutely perfect. The most picture perfect bin drop anyone has ever seen, Liam. Picture perfect. The red bin drop, not quite as perfect. So what happened was, as I was dragging the red bin through to the front of the house, I had noticed that there was a half-empty packet of lettuce on my kitchen worktop ready to get put into it. So I was like, right, okay, I better go and grab that quickly. Ran into the house, and in my joyous momentum getting to the red bin, I completely missed the bottom step leading out to my back garden, fell on my arse, and have sprained my ankle and also damaged the ligaments in my right foot.
What a fanny.
It is fucking ridiculous. I have been laid up with a stupid boot on my foot. The best thing to come of this, Liam, was I was given painkillers, and it has allowed me to stay up late and watch The Pit until 2 a.m. almost every single night, which has been great. I've enjoyed every single moment of it, but it's so fucking annoying. It's just like so stupid, and I have to walk about like a fanny, and that I won't actually be okay for weeks. I thought a sprained ankle, no bother. I'll go out running tomorrow. No, that's just not the case. So that's my incident report from last week. I was lying on the floor in my back garden like that to my wife. Come here, help me! Like she still was through fucking her third trimester, and she's just like, what am I going to do?
It's true.
Couldn't figure it out. So I was lying on the floor like, is it broken? That's my first thought, is it broken? Because I looked down and I was like, oh no. Saying to you, I didn't want to look down and be like Jibril Cisse, like just my foot is just like at a right angle on the floor. But no, everything was fine. I got to ride in a wheelchair for a bit. And yeah, I've just sat my arse and done bugger all for the past week, which is great.
Yeah, hell yes. I mean, I'm glad to see you're better. Obviously, at the time you were hopping mad, but here we are, Scott.
Can't tell if that was an Easter joke or
Oh
a
god, it's
fucking
both.
foot joke.
Many layers. Many
It
layers.
was
It's the
it
onion
was
again.
excellent. That was excellent.
Oh man, yeah. But of course, Easter has been and gone. I'm still on the post like Easter haze, where there's like a couple of eggs with my name on it, and it's like I will be finishing them, and then I'll
Right.
get back onto the good eating stuff. But it's like, no, it's there, and I'm not a believer in the whole like that will ruin everything, and also they're delicious, and I want them, and I'm a greedy bastard, but I'll be having them all.
I'm sorry, right? Pin in that,
Hmm.
because we're only 5 minutes into the show, so we need a few derailments here. Can
Cool.
I
There you
can
go.
I just put a petition out there to the good folks that listen to this show and just
Mhm.
say Easter egg chocolate is always shite. Like the chocolate that makes an Easter egg always tastes pish. Never
It
tastes
depends on
quite
the
as
egg.
good. Never
Depends
tastes
on the
quite as
egg.
good.
Yeah, but I think actually all of the eggs, like the big hitters, your Cadbury ones, right? Don't get me started in shrinkflation, right? And I know this is an after Easter rant, but then I'd got my wife one of these eggs from M&S, went bougie this year. Thought, right,
Ooh,
I'll get a right nice one.
someone's doing well.
I had salty caramel. I didn't mention that I shoplifted it. Had mad salty caramel. It's just all cunts anyway. It's easy. But salty caramel in the middle, and it was like proper Belgian chocolate, not boozy shite. And I'm like, oh, give a wee bit. And you go, tried it, and I'm like, Jesus, I actually forgot what proper chocolate can taste like because I had just had like a Cadbury egg,
Mhm.
and it was like you says, it was all right, but I'm feeling like it's becoming like Hershey, where like chocolate shouldn't bend. Like that chocolate does bend.
It's true. It's
The
fucking
snap.
true. Easter egg
Yeah.
chocolate has always been shite. Even when we were younger, it wasn't good.
Aye, but I think there used to be dairy milk, and then they had changed it to like Cadbury
Mhm.
and all the rest of it. It doesn't matter, but either way, if you're a fat bastard like myself and you want to have as much shite as possible, when possible, I'm a mere mortal, so I'll
Of
be
course.
granting the last of these, Scott. But bar
I
that,
just want
yeah,
Easter eggs to leave my sight now. It gets to that point. January the first, Easter eggs, mini eggs come out, and now I just can't look at them anymore.
that's true. Actually, I will be sad to see them go, but maybe we'll get a hint of summer, which is obviously the worst time of year if you're a gamer such as ourselves. Because I always go overboard, man. See when the warm weather, we've had teases of it, and it's like I just want to sit here and be under a blanket, cold, playing a game. It's weird, but if it's like middle of summer, oh man, I'm just like I'm dreading that time of year again, Scott. Dreading it. But it's on the horizon. But yeah, suppose that we've really derailed the start of this podcast already, but we should get things back on track. So we've got lots to talk about. Before I do, I'm going to get some housekeeping out the road. So, of course, this means that it's the Pixel Parents podcast, which is a weekly gaming show by parents discussing all things gaming, whilst we're raising the little ones as well. You can get new episodes every Friday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So please go subscribe to us on the YouTube so you don't miss our tired faces. And you can find us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social, email at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com, or even support the show for free at patreon.com/pixelparents, where you get bonus shows, community chats, and it will always cost you £0. And you can drop a wee 5-star review, share the podcast online with your friends, whatever you do, it really does help us out. So thank you to everybody that joins us each and every week. Right, Scott, let's have a quick check-in then. So what we've actually been playing. So I know you're deep in Hyrule, and I need to talk about Raccoin and Crimson Desert again because I've completely lost myself in both of them this week. But Scott, you talked about it last week. Zelda. I wanted to start there. Where are we at?
Where are we at, Liam? Where are we at? So I'm still playing through Twilight Princess on the Steam Deck. You know, still trying to come to terms with the button mapping on the Steam Deck, especially with a Wii. Like a GameCube controller is just confusing as all hell. But it led me down a path that I wasn't expecting to go on this week, where I decided that now was the time to finish the playthrough that I'd started of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And I had made it partly the way through. I had accidentally got myself up to the Gerudo Valley. And like for absolutely no reason. I had no reason to be there yet. But I was like, right, no, we need to lock in here, figure out where we're going. So back up to, is it Death Mountain? Is that right? What I'm saying? Going to go and sort the Gorons out. You know, Volvagia needs to be fucking slain. So he was fucking taught a lesson, and then everything went downhill from there. You know, the water temple. Liam, I can't have it. This game is a classic, considered one of the best games of all time. Changed gaming forward, moved gaming the landscape forward. But that water temple, that should be that should be a hard line cross under that game's name because it's a fucking nightmare. Quite possibly one of the worst things that's ever been created. So annoying,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it's not
It's
great, is
just
it?
arse. There's no need for it to be so fucking convoluted and stupid, but we got through it eventually. You know, a wee guide or two might have been consulted just to figure out where you raise and lower
Absolutely.
water levels because it needed to happen. And yeah, made my way through the rest of the game. I didn't bother my arse with all the skull tullers or all the other daft shite that you can do. I just thought mainline this bad boy and get it fucking finished.
Yeah,
And I
quite
did.
right.
Last night at 1:30 in the morning, I was sat in my room hitting Ganondorf with the final blow,
Mhm.
and it felt good. And then I was like, right, that's us done. And then fucking Ganon pops up. It's like, him as well, eh?
Mhm.
Fucking
Can't forget him.
the whole gang's here. So he got fucking taught what's for, and aye, it was great. It was just nice to play something that had. I spoke about it a few weeks back, and it's had quite a bit of feedback on it. But this whole endless gaming fatigue and actually playing games that have a proper beginning, middle, and end. And this was one of them, and it felt bloody great, Liam. It felt so good to finish and finally get to understand what all the hype is about. So that was the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and it has led me
I've
down a
Well, I have a
path,
big
Liam.
question. A
Oh,
big
oh, okay,
question though.
okay.
Just and you might be answering it now, but I must ask. Now that you've finished it, will you be going to Majora's Mask?
No,
So close,
there's.
people. So
I had
close.
played it. I had played it on the 3DS when it came out years ago, and I just never understood it. There's too much going on all at once. I might change my mind in the time that this show goes out. I might already be playing it, but I think my next stop in the journey of Link is probably going to be Wind Waker, just
Nice.
on the GameCube.
Switch online.
SNES Switch Online, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's perfect for that. Either that, or I'll go back and I'll finish A Link to the Past.
Oh,
Because I've not
so
played that in
good.
fucking years as well. So it's
So
just
good.
working my way through all these games, and I'm buzzing for it. And it's stopping me on my Dark Souls journey, Liam. You know, it's stopping me on that journey.
Oh, you'll have time for that. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
We'll get there. We'll get there with it. But no, it's been working through them. I've obviously played Raccoin, which you'll get to, and I've also played another game. If you'll allow me a few minutes before you
Oh,
take over the
please,
world with
please do.
Raccoin
Also,
chat.
I want to know what your thoughts on Raccoin are as well. No, I want to know.
Okay,
I want to know both.
you
I'm
can
intrigued. I want to
you
know if
can
it's
find out
if
more
it's
from
enjoyed
that.
you.
Yeah, it's been good. I'll tell you something. It's been dividing up time between this and the game that I'm going to talk about, which is a game that we got for review from I think it's Two Frogs in a Trench Coat or something like that. That's the name of the publisher, which is hilarious every single time that I see it. I'm pretty sure it's called that, but basically it is a game called Skull Horde,
Mhm.
which sounds metal as all hell.
Yes.
And it is actually pretty fucking metal. It's a Diablo 2 inspired auto battler dungeon crawler, which is a mouthful. It's got one of those roguelike structures where everyone loves as well. Endless game fatigue. You do have it a little bit, but this is kind of broken up because it's only 20-minute runs that you get. So it's like you're in and out in a minute or in 20 minutes, or if you die sooner, then you know you're fucked. But you play as this flying skull necromancer. So you basically control him. Think of it as, you know, Vampire Survivors, where you control one character and walk around this open. It's kind of open areas, so it's like tiny bits of a map, and it opens up as you walk around it. You can find materials in there, you can find different things, but ultimately, what you're doing is you're trying to build your horde of followers. So,
Mhm.
like, you've got different versions of sort of skeletons that might have like sword and shield, or they might have a massive shield that they control to kind of defend you, or they might be archers, might be mages, might be clerics. It depends on what you're doing, basically. But ultimately you're going around tanking all these characters. You're building resources to build this up, and then you're making your way through these procedurally generated maps as you walk through it. And that's the game, this whole strategy and how you build your characters. So in one run, you might have a run that you focus more on your damage. There might be ones that you just want to buff the characters that you create, and you kind of different things like that to unlock stronger forms, stronger abilities. You can upgrade them as well. There's loads of perks. Loot. You love the loot, Liam. You'd love this.
Yeah, I do love the
And
loot.
each dungeon have boons to create. It's basically you can break the game, which is exactly what you kind of want in this. Like, you've all had those runs in Vampire Survivors where you've got the garlic early, and it's like, yeah, I'm taking everything out now. So it's cool. But yeah, everything's all automated, so you don't actually control your army. They go
Right,
and they do their own things. You can call them over if you're further away and they come to you, but that's part of the fun, is that they can kind of just bugger off and do their own thing, and you're left to your own devices. But it's class. Like, I saw it and I thought, you know what, that looks interesting. And one of the sort of bigger parts of it that interested me more is it's actually from a Scottish development team called 8-Bit Skull. They've had success in the past with games like Board Blasters and Void Scrappers, which people absolutely fucking loved. Board Blasters, everything I read online. I've never seen it before. Obviously, I haven't only been on Steam for months now, but this is one that for a Steam Deck user, it's perfect. Just to kind of jump in, jump out, and 20-minute jobby breaks, perfect for it. Its art style, though, is to kind of talking about that heavy metal and that heavy metal inspiration. It's got that in spades. The music complements that even more so. It's just been fucking excellent to play. It's only on Steam at the moment, but if this hits, I see you could get it on a Switch or even on consoles or something. I think you could really be on like a sleeper hit of the year, to be honest with you. Like, this is something that if it catches the right people's eyes, it could do really well, because it's really cool. And it's really well made. Like, I've never seen, obviously this must be a common thing on Steam, but seeing how they update demos and what they're doing to demos as they update it, and constantly updating their Steam page to show you what they're doing, is like, that's really cool. You get to see in real time what's happening. So that's Skull Horde, releasing on April 10th. So when this show comes out, it will already be here.
Lovely. Is that just on Steam?
Just on Steam.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Might go check it out then. But yeah, you mentioned the 20-minute jobby game, Scott. And I'm going to start there because it's been another week of it, and I've been playing more of the same, plus a couple of new other things in there. In terms of time for me to check in here, right? But Raccoin, Scott, this is just a game that I so sorely needed, but also didn't at the same time. Following on from last week, I can't put the damn thing down, and it's like bookending my days, particularly when I was off there for the long weekend. Just play a wee bit in the morning, play a wee bit at night just before I go to bed, and then I'm like, some of the runs are like half hour, 45 minutes long. I'm like, how has this happened? Why can't I feel my legs? All this type of stuff, So it's like, it's incredible. But I'm wanting to just kind of touch on it this week, so I'm just begging people to just please go check it out, because I think if you're looking for something that's not going to be too particularly taxing on you, but has a hook, and you are on PC, just go forth. Just treat yourself to it. You will not regret it. And that leads me into, I'm going to save the big one for the last, right? But I also checked out Super Meat Boy 3D. I don't know if you had a chance to play that this week, Scott. But it's on Game Pass, so I thought I booted it up on the ROG LIX, and I thought I'll give it a go. And yeah, it was a great fun. It did kind of similar to that experience when I was playing Vampire Crawlers. I was playing it and I'm just like, I really just want to go play the original Super Meat Boy, because I found myself getting quickly frustrated with it. And it's the same, like, intensely quick and brutally hard but hilarious platforming that you're going to see. You're going to get all the blood smear marks on your previous pass if you failed, jumping off walls, all the rest of it, dashing. some of it I found it didn't translate too well to the 3D space, just particularly with some of the timings you need to get with the platform needs to be obviously its precision. But when it comes to the 3D space, it's just not didn't feel as great in hand as what the original Super Meat Boy did. That being said, I was thoroughly impressed with just the overall package there, just in terms of it being like colourful, bright. It still retained that sense of humour about it, so it's all there retains that charm for Super Meat Boy. If you've got Game Pass, it's definitely worth checking out. It's not something I can see myself going back to though. If anything, it just whet the appetite. It's like if I want that experience, I'm just going to go back to Super Meat Boy.
Mhm.
But you know, they should be fun. Like if you've never checked out Super Meat Boy as well, and you were into like the likes of Celeste and stuff like that, go back and play it. You'll absolutely have a great time. It's just that type of game, and it's the beauty of it is that if you fail, you're instantly straight back in it.
Yeah.
You can try again, and before you know it, hours melt by. And it's the same thing here in the 3D version. I actually totally didn't realise it was like on Game Pass at first
I
as
didn't
well.
realise it was on it until you literally just said it. So
Yeah,
it's an
yeah.
excuse to sign back up again if there was one.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
And do you know what? The time's coming up, I suppose, like you've, well, maybe not for yourself, but there's a few things coming up on Game Pass. Forza Horizon 6 is probably entering its big ramp up now. Like it, loathe it, that's going to be in the conversation for Game of the Year this year, of course, and I'm looking forward to that. But if you're interested in like picking up a month and dropping off, if you time it well, there's plenty of stuff on there to check out. But yeah, Scott, there's been a big game in my life the past few weeks, and this feels like my confessional once a week at this point. You have to give me my corner, which I think I'm going to be here for a while.
Is that
And it's
not, would you call him? Is that not an Usher album, Confessions or something?
these are my confessions. You know what I mean? Oh God, it's a bit of a tune as well. But I can't even deny it. But I'm here in my Crimson Desert corner again, Scott, because
God.
this game, it has a hold on me. I can't stop. If I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about getting back to it. And this is now, what, 3 weeks into it? And I've come up with the analogy of what this game really is to me. Because it's given more as you go. I know that it's not the best thing that I've ever played, but there's something about it where I just keep having to go back and I can't help myself, and I'm relaxed and I'm having fun and I'm playing like I've been really wanting to play games for a long time. And to me, when I was thinking about it, I was like, "But how the hell can I sum this up after and yet another week of playing this?" And Crimson Desert, the only way I could put it is a special fried rice, Scott, right? Because you've got your egg fried rice, right? You've got some prawns, some beef, some chicken, maybe a random smattering of gravy, maybe a wee spring onion. It's got everything in there. And you're like, none of this should go together. Here I am just eating it as I go. I'm like, is that a fucking prawn with a bit of beef and a chicken and a pea? What's going on? But the thought keeps going back and you keep on eating more and more of it because you're like, well, I know that this is crap. I know it's not good for me. I know this isn't the most nutritious thing in the world and it's junk, but I'm enjoying it and it's doing something to make me feel good in the moment as I'm consuming it. And when I finish with it, I'll just move on. I can have too much of it and get sick of it really quickly, but in small doses, it's actually quite moreish and I can keep going back towards it. And that's the only way I can kind of describe Crimson Desert as like, it's the special fried rice of video games right now because that's what it's doing. Like, it's not going to be the most nutritious meal you're going to have. Like, it's not going to be the best game. This isn't going to be a game of the year. I cried at the story, YouTube essays on it all the time for the right reasons, but it doesn't need to be. And it's actually teaching me a lot. It's been a real wind your neck in moment because when we're talking a lot about critical discussion, the public discourse, book, all that type of stuff, it's like it's just reminded me that games fundamentally they're there for you to have fun, and that's okay. Like ultimately, this is a game that you just have to do one thing, and that's just play it. You can experiment. You can do some really daft, goofy shit in your time with it, and you're going to crack a smile at some point because it's like not every game has to be the PlayStation Studios exclusive marquee game at the Game Awards. It could just be something daft that people will just create content. Look at this stupid thing that I'm about to do. And I stumbled across a video this week from very big fans of him, Maximilian Dude, and he's referenced Just Cause in the video, basically just as he's himself. It's kind of like he wrote it off at first. He's given it a go again, and he's seen the fun in it. Even though he knows this is like probably like a 6 out of 10, like middling game, there's just goofy fun. And the Just Cause reference really rung true with me, because I'm like, yes, that same feeling I get playing a Just Cause game, and doesn't have to be a guilty pleasure and all the rest of it. It can just be stupid fun. Like I was unlocked an ability where I can chuck guys that I discovered into barrels and they'll cause giant explosions, and you keep experimenting with it until you yourself blow up and die. And it's just really, really daft things. Like it keeps on showing itself all these different little things. It makes absolutely no sense at all. And so the boss fights are janky as all hell, unfair as well, I would say, at some certain points. But once you get through them, you're like, okay, on to the next thing. Right now, I'm Dog the Bounty Hunter. Like, I'm just going about just kidnapping baddies and just getting money for it. But I'm like, I'm quite happy existing in this world. And ultimately, I walk away. I'm not going to sit here and pretend, Scott, that this is like a must-play game, something that I should wholeheartedly recommend, and it's going to be like, in the Game of the Year conversation. Stand by it. Like, it still feels like that 6 and a good day at a 7 out of 10 game, but it does need to be Game of the Year, and it doesn't have to be crap. Like, it's that we need games like that. That's the in between, and I think it's reminded me of that we can all be guilty of that binary view of it's either 10 out of 10, it's getting added to the Pixel Picks Showdown, or it's going to be something that's the worst thing you've ever played and it makes you want to scrape your eyes out. To be fair, some people like yourself will feel that way about Crimson Desert, and some people may pretend it's like Game of the Year stuff. It's not. It's firmly, like, at best in the middle. And there's parts of it where it's like, man, this is just derivative, made in a boardroom, it feels like, type of vibe from it. Let's just chuck everything in the blender and see what sticks. But ultimately, if you just want a game where you can literally just fanny about for hours on end, and we always complain about either games being too short or too long or whatnot, but if you're just wanting a playground before GTA, consider it. But I'm not recommending it because there is a lot of jank, and that opening, I'm not being funny, say that opening 10 hours, like, dreadful. And apparently online, I've been reading that some people are viewing like the story as a giant tutorial. Apparently you don't get emotes until like chapter 7 or something like that, which is insane. There's 14 chapters in the game. You know what I mean?
It's fucking 14 too many.
It is insane, Scott. But I'm like, it's fun, and I have to say, it's see, from the point where you would have stopped playing it to now, it's a different game in that regard because they have improved it, and I'll give them that. Like, they've been hammering it with patches.
I mean,
and quality.
it's a game that every single time I've turned on, there's been an update fucking added to it. So it's just like, it must be the most updated game in human history. I had to call time with it. I was just like, I've got no time to waste on this shit. Like, I'm not
100%.
seeing the value in it. So I traded it in. I bought it for 42 quid and I got 38 quid for it and bought Super Mario Odyssey, which I see is the perfect investment, especially for me and my daughter. So it's been a great thingy, a great purchase. I mean, all power to you. If you want to, hang your hat on the Crimson Desert flag, then on you go. Fucking wire in. But ultimately, the point of saying it is, like, if you want to play games, just fucking play them. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to enjoy Crimson Desert, go and enjoy it. Just because I don't enjoy it doesn't mean that you need to fucking cry about it online.
Of course, I mean, that's the thing.
Ridiculous.
Like, it comes back into that whole binary point for me, because I'm like, Christ, I mean, the young ones, the children, the youth will play, Roblox and Fortnite. I'm like, these aren't the best games ever, but they're having fun. And it's just been a wee reminder to me, because sometimes I think we can all forget that, particularly in the positions we're in. Scott,
Yeah.
we're making a podcast where it's like, right, we've got to put the critical hat on, and sometimes we can be Homer Simpson, who just likes every food because it tastes good. And it's like, in this case, it's like, yeah, I know it's almost like you sometimes forget that we're not on the quest to find game of the year all the time.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's
exactly.
just a bit of fun.
Sometimes you need a PS2 game that nobody's ever heard of. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
yes.
it's just like a random PS2 game that you put on. It's like, what the fuck is this? And it turns out to be one of the most fun games that you've ever played, but it looks, plays, and sounds like shit. And that's Crimson Desert.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend it. Otherwise, it's fun if you're prepared to invest the time. Like,
Yeah,
I've only found it because I've been stubborn. I could have easily fallen off in that first time, and I would
100%.
never recommend somebody sinks 10 hours of their time into something before it gets good, because that's a stupid investment. You could have finished another game in that time.
I
Eh,
did.
exactly, precisely. It is, it's a lot of fun. And speaking of which, it's going to push me on to this next part of the check-in, Scott, because obviously the long weekend has just, well, that was last weekend, and we had both taken the wee ones to go see the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Now, last week's episode, if you missed it, we had pitched the entire NCU, the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Go check it out; it was a lot of fun. But we've since saw the Galaxy movie. Did we want to enjoy it? First of all,
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely adored it.
Same here, same here. And it's like, again, that reminder. It's like,
That's
I'm not going
what
in
it's
there looking for
all
nostalgia.
about.
Exactly. Exactly.
I
It's
am
like,
sorry. I know what you're going to. You're going to try and be nice about this and be civil about it,
no,
right?
not at all. I'm
You're
segueing.
going to be civil about it, but listen, if you're an adult criticizing what you watched in the Super Mario movie, a movie made by Illumination, who make fucking the best movies they've ever made, are the Minion movies. You know what I mean? Just stupid fucking fun that makes no sense. You need to fucking have a look at yourself in the mirror, please. It's just ridiculous. A critic's eye on a kid's movie, like it was just a roller coaster ride from start to finish. Did it all make sense and lore? No, it didn't. Did it have to? Did it? Fuck. I still had fun. So there you go.
It has. So if you're a Nintendo fan, if you're a Mario fan, you're going to come out there and have lots of fun. Back in the can. But you're going to have like lots and lots of fun. And it was a blast. And it was a perfect hour and a half.
Yes.
Take the wee ones to see it. My wee ones are the same. They absolutely loved it. They come out and they're just pure buzzing. And it's like, it was a great wee early morning out for us. And
Mhm.
I appreciate it for that. Aye, of course, it's like, I remember the same reaction to the last Mario movie, but it reminds you, it's like, see, when you look at the Mario games, utter nonsense. But
Mhm.
you walk away going, that's some of the best fun I've had because of the gameplay. Now, I'm not saying that the film's necessarily the best in terms of that, but if you're needing a kids' film with some amazing visuals, by the way, that's sugary sweet that will keep them in their seat for an hour and a half, you're not going to go wrong here, and that's all it needs to be. Which is a good laugh. Otherwise, you're just going to get Toy Story 4. You
But
know what I mean?
let me say this, and I'm sorry if this is a spoiler, right? But you can kiss my ass.
All right,
But
you 15 seconds, skip
the f-
now.
the fact that this film acknowledges the existence of the Piantas from Super Mario Sunshine, the Delfino Island inhabitants, that was the biggest pop that I think that anyone could have heard in that whole cinema. I was just like, yes,
I did think of yourself in a
vindicated,
storm.
vindicated.
The only Sunshine fan in existence. Game's dreadful.
You're fucking terrible.
So, no, it was good. I'm glad that we kind of got to see it. And, I heard Miyamoto was listening last week, and, our checks in the mail, Scott, as we built out that NCU.
Mario's woke now.
There's a Trump's cancelling them. We've got every opportunity for a Nintendo Cinematic Universe to be built. It's breaking all kinds of box office records, and the proof therein's in the pudding. And it's not going to be the last we're seeing. It's good fun. I expect them to. In fact, I don't even know where they're going to go next. there was so
Got
many
it
things
ready,
to love about it.
ready made for it to go somewhere at the end of that film. Like,
Do you know the thing I was surprised at? They had put, there's a lot of Odyssey in this film. I know it was hinted at in the trailers, but there's a lot more than I expected. And I was like, you'd feel that would be the natural place to go. But
no, you don't.
no,
Take it away from Mario. Follow a certain other character.
Indeed. Well, it's there. We'll see.
Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is woke now.
Quite right. We'll move things on once again. Last week we had a little chat about like some games that are coming out this month from Nintendo. I'm going to pivot all the way back over to PlayStation here. It's just a little segue into a new segment called We've Not Played Saros. I know that the new preview cycles went up last week since recording, but it's probably, if you are excited for that game, it's just to put that in your radar. Go search online. There's plenty of really cool chats about Saros gameplay. Yeah, so it's out at the end of the month. It's like 28th of April, something like that. Don't quote me on it.
30th. 28th for early access.
There we go. But yeah, all the hype's looking pretty good on that one, Scott. We did briefly talk about it last week, but the previews are now went live. We're not going to comment on that because we haven't played it, but I just want one last wee hype check there, Scott. Is this definitely the next big thing you're going to move on to, do you think?
Probably, aye.
We're only a few short weeks out of it, to be fair.
He said quick. I mean, aye, pretty much. I don't really know what to say about it. I've not actually watched much of the stuff to do with it or listened to any of the podcasts about it because I've not been out and about. I've not had any opportunities to listen to anything, so I've missed all the hype cycle. But listen, see at the end of the day, see if it's more Returnal. That's all I need.
What I've heard in the previews is that, yes, it will be. It's obviously its own thing. Who knows if they find some way to link the two, but I think it's not going to be as... I've got to be careful here. It's not going to be as, challenging at certain points. It's going to do a better job of it's going to be challenging the game from what I'm hearing, but it's not going to be as, I don't know, batter you over the head is what Returnal was, but we'll find out. And that's a pleasant thing for me because it's like these type of games, you need an opportunity to train and grow as opposed to just get chucked straight in the deep end. Because I think that'll invite a lot more players in if you can do that as well. But big Sony exclusive, man. And it's just a few short weeks away. But I want to linger more on PlayStation, Scott. I think we should probably move into our main topic, which is all going to be about PlayStation. And speaking of which, before we do move on to that topic, so say if you enjoy the show, if you do want to support, just go over to patreon.com/pixelparents. Won't cost you a penny. You're going to get bonus shows, including the most recent patch notes and side quests with Scott, free all the time. And please, if you can, just go subscribe to us at YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/@pixelparentspodcast. Now, Scott, the PlayStation 5 price hike, it's happened. We were catching up on that on the patch notes where you can go listen to it on Patreon, but it's global now. It's here. And an interesting side effect that we've clocked on this is that quite a lot of people were wisely choosing to buy the PlayStation 5 or Pro just to get in before the increase. And it kind of got us thinking this week, we thought about this main topic. If you're brand new to the PlayStation 5, what generation are you actually walking into? Has it been a great one, a disappointing one, or have those who've been there since launch, such as ourselves, Scott, just been a bit too quick to take some genuinely brilliant games and moments for granted? And that's the main topic this week. The PlayStation 5 So Far has the generation delivered. Scott, it's not so much a big question, because I'm not going to keep this in the negative. I want to start on the positives here. Let's start with the good stuff. I want to start on the highs of the PlayStation 5 generation so far, Scott. We're not going to talk about price, like I said. If you want to hear us chat about that, it's on the Patch Notes episode 2. But what's been great about the PlayStation 5 generation? You've been there since launch, Scott. What's been great about it?
It's, I mean, not talking about exclusivity, because I think that exclusivity has changed and now, reneged itself from PC and things like that. It's now different from that. But for me, it has just been the perfect place to play these games. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's third party, first party, every party. Mario Party has just been, it's just been the place that I want to play these games. And with the sort of the standard base PS5, it was an excellent console when it came out. It was fucking brilliant. I mean, that thing was one of the best consoles I think that I have ever owned myself. Especially after having the PS5 Pro and feeling like that thing was going to blow up every single time I turned it on. Having these games run on PS5 as well as it has done has been great. But having the PS5 Pro come out, and love it or loathe it, it's starting to show its worth, and you're starting to see these developers and stuff show it a bit of love as well. Then yeah, that's been something that I've enjoyed. I would also say that the improvements that have been, now I think we were a bit skeptical at first when they announced it, but the improvements that have been shown with like the PlayStation Plus packages and stuff as well, the whole
Yeah.
premium cadence and how that's going to work as well has been actually, as time has gone on, it has actually worked out better, and you're starting to see games that you might actually want to play show up on PlayStation Plus. It's not just fucking shite PS4 pish that you don't want to play. And having that kind of improve over time has been great, but I think it's just been a solid console to own. Like, I think that if I was consoleless at the beginning of this month and someone had said, you have all the money that you need to buy a console, what would you buy? I would buy a PlayStation 5 straight away, because it seems like the more welcoming console, I would say, than the others. But I'm not sure. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there that I definitely agree with. I mean, a high has definitely been, it's easy to take this one for granted, is that the console, like you said, is just so damn reliable. It's a great machine. It's a great piece of tech. And the base PS5, I almost loathed getting rid of it, because it was like I had, admittedly, no need to upgrade that at the time, because it was, honestly, it was steady as, like, probably that feeling you had mentioned for the PS4 Pro and the PS4, the generation where everybody had the same complaint, the fan. It's easy for us to forget about it in 2026. But if you go back to like 2019 and before that, you would have given anything, because it was like that little kind of thing in the back of your head, like, is this going to explode? And then you get the PS5 launch day, whisper quiet, and it's like, Jesus, like that was a flex. And it had the liquid metal cooling and all that, the launch model as well. I think it still does, but they slightly tweaked it with the device model. The Pro comes along, and at first it was like, I'd probably push that into the lows. But as time has gone on, particularly this year, as you mentioned, and now the Pixel 2 upgrades are starting to come out thick and fast for games that you would actually want to see these improvements on, including the likes of Cyberpunk this week, which I did check out, by the way. That does look incredible.
No, don't.
I hate to admit it, but yeah, it might be time for the replay, but it looks the part. But that is a high, and the fact that it feels like the PS5 Pro had got off to a stuttering start, but now it's starting to seem like it's been a pretty good investment. And that's, take the price hike out of that. It's like, cool, if you're interested in having the best possible console experience just now this generation, the PS5 Pro will offer you that. The only thing that comes close is the Series X. But the PS5 Pro is definitely now starting to prove itself as a high if you're into that. Regardless, outside of that, the base PS5 is still very reliable, and that is a high. It just works. I think another one for me, again, granted is the key word for me. It has just given me more of the big franchises that I love this generation, but that has been a double-edged sword for me, which kind of leads me into the lows. With every high comes a low, Scott. And the question here is, with this generation so far, has there been anything that you wish they could have done a bit better? Gets to scroll out.
Get the scroll out, aye, the Jericho list of holds.
Aye.
I mean, there's a million things that I wish they'd done better. I wish you could have eliminated maybe the first 3 or 4 years and then just have it now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just have these games that are coming out now ready for then. that's just part and parcel of the way civilization has been this time. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't all have these games straight away. But I think if I was to change anything, I mean, layoffs in the company sphere, aside, because yeah, bring them all back, please. But I think that the removal of certain parts of PlayStation, Japan studio and things like that as well, I think is a big loss. Did not kind of the lack of acknowledgement to some of the PlayStation's bigger hitters as well, like the fact that we've not seen a decent fucking infamous game since
Yeah.
Second Son. The fact that that's not kind of shown its face. PlayStation All Stars doesn't have a sequel. Uncharted doesn't have another game in the series. The loss of the multiplayer Last of Us, which could have been an absolute, especially in this current market where people love that shite.
Yeah.
It could have been
Yeah.
an absolute fucking smash hit for the company. They're probably looking back now thinking, fuck. But I think it's just been a lot of missed opportunities. The biggest failure, Liam, if you permit me this, it's two words, one name, two words, Jim Ryan.
Yep.
Like, just the fucking, that's the biggest failure that they could have had, because it was just a stupid man in charge of this. Now, he's obviously done some things well, I'll give him that, but this whole push to, this type of gaming for everything, it's just not working for it. And it hasn't been working for such a long time, and it's just something that we're continuing to see the dirty footprints in the sand that continue to linger. But I think that it's apart from that, these are all things that are coming to mind now. But over time, it's not really something that I've particularly cared about, because I've had such a good time playing the games that I wanted to play on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I could have changed
Yeah.
anything, yeah, another infamous game. Yeah, maybe a relationship with Konami. Maybe make Blue Point, give us a Metal Gear Solid remake earlier. But I got that eventually. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry for the people who worked at Blue Point, but like, there was nothing there. Apparently, like, they were obviously trying to do a lot with the God of War franchise and things there as well, but it's just not worked out, and that's just sometimes the way it goes for these things. Do you know what I mean? But better management, better use of the studios that they have, yeah, 100%. But Jim Ryan, just, if that had happened sooner, then we wouldn't be in this mess, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably kicking back, enjoying his retirement somewhere, thinking, look at the sales figures, I've did my job, because the CEO of PlayStation, that was his job, and it's like, yeah, but they kind of sold themselves, and I'm with you, like, that is going to be the headline. That's it's the easy one, but that's the headline low, the Jim Ryan era. It feels like that has compounded with the pandemic, has
Yes.
created a sense of malaise around PlayStation, and it's dragged it backwards, and there was far too many trend chasers that was pushed and, what's the word, tracked during this year, that we're still seeing the kind of after effects, that, that not everything, it's a bit like Sony's had to blow its nose, and it's just really not got it quite cleared yet. That's just a couple of dregs just kind of lingering there. And I deliberately use a disgusting reference, because that's what it feels like. It just feels like, okay, because you can tell it's just been like, oh, there's Fortnite, there's this. We want our own type of, game as a service that we can milk players forever on, and just let's chase that. And it kind of got a really further and further away removed from what PlayStation was all about. These trend chasing things that they had done, if it wasn't for the fact that it was PlayStation, they've basically, all the credit they had in the bank, they've eroded a large portion of that this generation, and they can't afford another one, or else they're going to find themselves in a precarious situation. Not that they're going to be quite like Xbox, but people will start to just get a wee bit like, ugh, what is the point in me upgrading? What's the point in me doing X, Y, Z? I mean, they're always going to end up selling their own stuff anyway, and it will always have that element. It's PlayStation, it's going to sell itself. But the players, I feel, largely just not really too bothered about that type of stuff. Like these big hits, you can't design to be a hit. Like when they come around, and they did have one with Helldivers 2, which you could add to the highs list, right? Helldivers 2, but in the lead up to that, let us not forget here, absolutely nobody was looking at that thinking that thing's going to explode in popularity. That thing's going to be the success story of this year. It's going to be a movement. It's going to have this kinetic energy and buzz around it, and it still does to this day. It just lives and dies. It's a timing thing. It's like lightning in a bottle. And I suppose strategically, they're probably thinking, hey, let's make 10 or 12 of them. One of them's got to be a hit. Bet you Helldivers 2 wasn't on that list, so probably just thinking, I just let them make their sequel, and nobody will expect anything from it, and it just blew up. And good on them. But then you look at, obviously, the elephant in the room, Concord, which wasn't a bad game. But
Still stand by it, Liam.
yeah, wasn't a bad game at all. But the fact that you're pushing that, and you can see through the veil of what they're trying to do. And it was dead on arrival, because you could see they were chasing many trends, like the whole Guardians of the Galaxy tone and vibe of it. Many, many years after that was kind of the new hotness, and also with it chasing that Overwatchy type hero shooter vibe as well. It's like, not that it was exactly the same as Overwatch, but you can see it had these little drippings of something from 2014 to 2016. And it's like, then it has dropped, and it died in its arse. I thought, you put in the cancellations, you put in the mismanagement of the portfolio of studios, I would say, and say strongly, yeah, because they've got every opportunity. You go back to that malaise, it all comes back to that Jim Ryan, that strategic direction, the buck stops with him. And it feels like they're slowly, because it's like any ship, it turns slowly, that they have an opportunity to get there. They're not there yet, but it's like, let's just see where they go with this, because they obviously understand it's like, shit, we need to get back to what made us so good in the first place, but put us in this position, which was that PlayStation 4 generation, where they got weird, they took some risks, and they were just all about the players. And right now, it's like, put out stuff that gets us excited. And on that note, that gives me to my last low that I've got in my notes here, which is, for me, there hasn't been enough new IP this generation, and I feel that as a low. You know, I feel like we needed that God of War 2016 reveal. Granted, it wasn't a new IP, but it was something new and exciting. There was no Bloodborns this generation. There was nothing like that that's kind of jumping out at me going, wow. Even like Death Stranding. You know what I mean? We did get a better Death Stranding this generation, which is a high. But it's also like, it just feels like this generation right now, it just feels like, in every sense of the word, a sequel generation for Sony. And that's good, and I'm not taking that away, but it does start to become a slight problem, because this leads me to the next point of this, Scott. It's their identity. PlayStation 5, this generation, feels a bit too safe. It is safe. It's been a very safe generation, and that's because it's like, let's just fart out sequels to all these big games, and they've all been great. But it's good, it's solid, but it's like, is it anything that's going to get you like mega excited? You know, like, and again, it's difficult to do that, but you need to take swings.
It's, Liam, yeah, you do, but then you have issues with games like Fair Games and, you know, Concord and stuff like that. Marathon, it's like, these are new. Well, no, Marathon maybe not the best example of it, but these are all new IP. It's just not games that we want. Do you know what I mean? Then that's the problem there. Like things like Stellar Blade, for example, that was new IP. That's kind of come out and that done well. It's just, you know, the new IP is there. It's just not new IP that we have enjoyed. I think that the games that we like have been games that have performed well on the PS4 and needed a sequel. Spider-Man, Horizon, Death Stranding. But I think that since the PlayStation 5 has come out, the industry has been in a bit of a mess and creating new IP, and that, you know, a risk it can be easy. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be PlayStation's biggest fan here, because it's not the case. You know, I know I hate Xbox, but I'm not PlayStation's biggest fan, but it's what do you call it? It's just like it can't be easy. Xbox as well. You know, they can't even make their own IP. They just can't make any fucking IP. It's with PlayStation. No, I just think it's these are risks that these companies are finding hard to take because it's not known quantities. Like we're looking at a future where you have Intergalactic coming out from Neil Druckmann. Now the sale for that game isn't in the game. It's Neil Druckmann's next project. Do you know what I mean? It's the same as
Mhm.
Hideo Kojima. You know, OD and the other one that he's making, the good one that he's going to make with PlayStation. I can't Pheasant, yeah. That's going to be it's not sold for the gameplay. It's going to be sold because it's Hideo Kojima's next project. It's that we've spoken about it before. It's not the games; it's the people who make them that are ultimately selling these fucking games. Now, you know, we didn't buy Starfield because we all love Fallout. We bought Starfield because nah, I'm kidding. Nobody bought Starfield, but it's
Well,
just
out in PlayStation.
I will.
Um,
Let's see how that works out. But it's a bizarre thing. I think that the industry shifted so much from this reliance on first party exclusivity and, you know, new IP from PlayStation Studios and things like that, where we're now seeing, you know, like partnerships with studios and things as well that are bearing fruit more than anything else. And I think that will continue. Like, what would you want? I know. I'm asking you to create IP, Liam. What would you want? What's going to be the one game that would top this all off for you? Like, what would be the one for you to be like, yeah, PlayStation have had an excellent PlayStation 5 would have been an excellent generation. Like, what do you
you
need
mean
from that?
you mean the one game that's already come out?
Just in general, what do you think that you would change from the PlayStation 5 generation for it to be standout?
I think it's about balance for me. It's about balance, and I I do have like the. We're going to move on to the best games we recommend, right? And when we get to it, you'll see what I mean. But a broader way to put my point is there's been way too many safe bet sequels for me this generation, which is good, right? I'm not having a go at it, but I would like that to be equal with like the bigger swings, you know, just a little bit more of something that's completely like not like a double A, not like a smaller one. Like, where is the new version of a Horizon? Something that's like, here's a big, massive, major swing we're going to be taking just now. Even like the big Spider-Man announcement from the PS4 generation. Where's something like that? I suppose you've got Wolverine, I suppose,
Wolverine.
but
it's
I suppose, but it's
it's
even
just
like
it's a like what's the next thing from the Eternal franchise? Saros. It's like these games are coming. They've just not been with us yet. Do you know what I mean? Like
not true,
like
and it's a good point.
it's
Then
aye,
the games are taking longer to make as well, and that's the
exactly.
thing that is out of their control. Like, it probably could have taken anywhere between 5 and 7 years. You're probably talking about a decade or something longer now. Like, where's Cory Barlog's latest game, for example? And listen, take your time, Corey. Right, take all the damn time you need.
No, hurry up,
That
mate.
is, I'm not demanding it, but I understand it's like that is going to take like 10, 15 years or something. Even Intergalactic, I honestly don't see that coming. I wouldn't be
No,
surprised if that came out in like 2029 soonest. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those ones that you're in absolutely zero rush. They've got like the God of War remakes, and it's like cool. Unfortunately, yeah, where the industry's at just now, we're not going to see what I'm looking for, which is, you know, appreciating that these new, instantly iconic new franchises, because of taking the swing, they're pretty much like a dead thing now, because it's like you have to play it safe, because the investment, games are just going to get more and more expensive to make. It takes longer to make, so you have to bet safe. And that's fine. I will eat that all day long. It's just over time, are we going to start to see more GTA 6s out there? Where you have like 14-year dev cycles between these safe bets, because
that's the problem though, in it
that's
though,
the
is that
future,
you
isn't it?
can't. If it's going to be a 14-year dev cycle, there has to be a 14-year like results of that dev cycle. Like,
Yeah.
if you take 14 years and release Forspoken, for example, it's like, what the fuck were you doing for those 14 years, mate? Like, fucking sitting in your ass.
Mhm.
But it's just, I think that we're obviously having this conversation given the fact that the news had come out, obviously, and the increase in the prices and stuff as well. And I think that there are there's evidence to suggest that the PlayStation 5, like, it's worth it for what it is, right? But I just don't know what I would want from it to make it even better. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I would need from it for it to be the absolute king of all generations. And that might just be because I've got what I wanted. Do you know, like Final
Oh, don't
Fantasy
you?
VII Remake, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out on it. I can play that on there as well. Death Stranding 2 came out, one of my favourite games from that last generation with Death Stranding came out. So it's like, listen, I'm getting the games that I want, but there's bound to be people out there that don't. I don't like Horizon. Okay, that's cool. But there's bound to be there's a game there for everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
Well,
just
yeah, I mean, listen. If you were Xbox, you'd bite their arm off for it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's Christ, even if you were Steam, you'd bite their arm off for it. I think it's what's come to define the PS5 generation for me, which is I
Yeah.
think like that little element of punkishness of just listen, we're just going to roll the dice here on something and back it bigger. Just that new sway. It's a bit like when a football team, you have all your stars. Then all of a sudden they hit 30 and they're designated as old, which I disagree with. And then they're sold and they move to the MLS. And then you have to go sign a new bunch of players and you have to go through the awkward few early seasons before you know they become the new stars. And it's like, who who's going to be that new star of the PlayStation generation? It could very well be like Intergalactic, which I'm absolutely buzzing for. Cannot be asked with all the fucking, MAGA fish that's going to come
It's
out
woke.
around it.
And the
Yeah.
Galactic's woke.
That's like, if they want to just do themselves a good game, hell mend them. But it's just like, when it comes to the PS5, it's just that acceptance. It's like, that's what's defining it for me, which is it's safe. And that's not a criticism. It's just, it's been a very safe generation and it feels a little bit more corporate as a result. And it feels a little bit more PS3 rather than PS4, which is fine. But I would like to see Sony just lean, not just go back to it. We're never going to go back, but just take a little bit more of that roguish attitude, which has kind of defined them early on from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2. They lost their way in PS3. They got a bit of it back in PS4. And in PS5, it's like an Appleification, sterile almost, and safe. And safe is good, but it's like, instead of like banking on a lot of safe 8 out of 10s, roll the dice. You might get a 6, you might get a 9, who knows, but we'll just see what's in there. And I'm not saying that all the games are 8s, but there has been quite a few of ones where you walk away and you go, that was perfectly good, and that's fine. But I knew what I was getting into before I walked into it, and that was it. But that's really for me, listen, subjectivity is the point here. That's just how it feels, and it's not that I'm complaining about it. It's just that if I'm going to look at it critically, just if I can pick holes in it some way, shape, or form,
It's true,
that's
though.
what I'm trying to do, just for the point of discussion. But safe is good. I'd rather safe than it being an absolute shit heap or on fire, to be quite
Yeah.
frank. And that very well could have been
Yeah.
if they didn't have all of these safe bets to kind of prop up. So it just goes to show you they know what they're doing. In summary.
That's the thing. Aye. It's we could be in a position where both PlayStation and Xbox don't have a fucking Scooby what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. No, I'd rather them play it safe and still have, the means to exist than everything just fucking crumble at their feet. So I just try to think of a game that what would be the perfect first party title that I would want from even from like old PlayStation time.
I mean, that's the thing. You don't know until you see it. It's like, you would never have known or even have, tried to create in your head Bloodborne in 2014, whatever it was. You would never have done that but then when you see it, you just know,
Yeah,
and
you
that's
know.
all it is. It's just that it's a collaboration and a swing. They did, I suppose, did it quite a lot last generation. Like you can look at Death Stranding with like Kojima Productions and stuff as well. Granted, they had to get through that to get to Death Stranding 2 and refine the formula. You know, they had to do Horizon Zero Dawn to get to Forbidden West. They
Yeah.
had to do, you know, Ghost of Tsushima to get to Ghost of Yurti. The list goes on.
What were Guerrilla Games doing before Horizon?
It kills on.
Killzone. So
Yeah.
like they had the means behind them to make a Horizon.
Yes.
Insomniac have had the means behind them to go and make
Wolverine.
the Marvel games and fucking all that shit. You know, Kojima can do it because it's Kojima. You know, he'll find the money. Like if you're going to become a PlayStation first party studio, you have to be ready to be fucking shut down in the next few years.
Mhm.
But also, you know, you have to be ready. Game development in itself is a fucking costly business to begin with. So if you're getting into that, if you want to become a PlayStation first party title, you need to be ready to fucking to go. Do you know what I mean? Like the most modern example of it, if it was first party, like a Clear Excure, for example, like something like that. If that was first party, would have been incredible.
Yeah.
But then it loses part of that joy of it being an indie title. So I don't know, like modern examples and how you would even go about doing it. Liam,
Well,
I
yeah,
just
Clear
don't know
Obscure is
anymore.
actually a really, really good example. You know, like something like that you just wouldn't have guessed, and it's that feeling of being blindsided and excited, and
Yeah,
that's it. Like, and you can't, we can't sit and design it right now. You can't really do it. Like I said to that old adage with the mistake that Jim Ryan made with trying to chase the trend, is that you can't really design these things. They do just happen, but in order to do it, you kind of have to speculate to accumulate them a bit. And you're right,
yeah,
they have
I
taken,
suppose
it's not
so.
that they've not taken swings, it's just that there's probably the swings they've taken haven't worked out, but eventually they're going to,
They've been,
who knows,
they've,
state of play, they could
they've
do the
been,
next one and it could be there.
yeah, they've been bunting, Liam. They've not been hitting home runs. They've just been bunting to get to fucking the next
Get to
base.
first. Yeah.
Some baseball chat for you. But Liam, I'll leave you with this one just quickly before, because I have thought of the title from PlayStation that has reigned supreme on the PlayStation 5 generation. And Liam, that game is on the unofficial Uncharted 5 baby
Hmm.
steps.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because
The big swing.
they have announced that baby steps has points in it where people believe it is alluding to it being an unofficial Uncharted 5 from Bennett Foddy and stuff like that. And go, because the character's name's Nate. His dad gets really excited when he talks about him climbing up a fallen train. His daughter is like the same name as the girl from Uncharted 4, so it's like everything all adds up. Everything all adds up to it being a sequel to the Uncharted franchise, and that was one of the best games of the PS5 generation, and I will fight every single person on planet Earth who says otherwise.
Listen, absolutely go for it. I mean, that's a good segue into the part of it, which is, you know, say like we've spoken about the generation and that, but say you have been someone out there that's maybe just waited, bided their time. You've bought a PlayStation 5, you've sunk the money before the hike. There's a lot of games there that we can recommend, you know, like there are a lot of games there. And, you know, I think there's an absolute shed load. I almost envy that feeling of like if you bought mid generation and you just have an absolute like king's ransom of great games to just sit and make your way through. That must be some feeling. And I suppose for us, it's just really what games are a must on PS5. I mean, this is where we get to the obvious. I'll kick us off. God of War Ragnarok, for example.
Yes.
I'll just try to think of games. I know that was in PS4 as well, but ones that I think of are, you know, are a PS5 game. God of War Ragnarok is obviously like a day one purchase, you know. Not only is it an incredible story, and it's also great fun to play. I felt it built upon what made 2018 so great and improved upon it. But if you want to go and just get a good platinum, which all of these games I believe are about to list will be great platinums, you've got hundreds of hours of gameplay there, great value throughout it all. But Ragnarok, I think, definitely has to be top of your list if you haven't played it already and you've picked one up. Other ones, Scott, just fire away. Ones you would recommend of this PS5 generation so far?
I mean, without doubt, if you're looking for a showcase of what the PlayStation 5 is all about, and the fact that it's a fucking behemoth of a console, Death Stranding 2 is that game for you. Just
Yeah.
looking at that game, being, wow. That first fucking 5 minutes of that game is like, oh my god, mum, come and look at the telly. Look at the telly. And it carries everything that it carries already from Death Stranding, one that you might have already played in the PS4. And yeah, it's almost one of those games that I think have to be experienced to be a PlayStation owner.
Yeah. I mean, you're bang on. It's a visual showcase. It has everything. It's a game you could play for hundreds of hours. Everything you kind of want, and it's not too weird, which I appreciated myself. It was definitely one of the top games from last year. I thought it was a return to form. But I suppose, speaking of which, there's a lot of sequels here, but they're good sequels. Like mentioned earlier, Horizon Forbidden West, which I feel is kind of slept on a wee bit in the PlayStation 5. That's a game that can be taken for granted. It's like came and went, but if you want a powerhouse to show off a PlayStation 5 or even a PS5 Pro, Jesus, like that's one of the best looking games ever made. It is incredible. You mentioned Death Stranding 2. It's using the same Decima engine and it shines here, man. Like, it is wizardry. Like, I don't know if it's on PlayStation Plus as well, or if there will be a trial, but I don't know if Horizon Forbidden West made it to one of the tiers. But it's
I
definitely
think it
worth, like,
is. I
feel
think it
like,
is.
just as a little kind of like, if you wanted to just kind of show off your PS5 Pro just to test it, Scott, and look at that pisser in action, download it and just to look at it. I know you won't play it because it's not your type of game, but the game itself, though, it's streamlined. It did everything so much better than the first one, and it was just a blast. Literally, it was just like, you mentioned like Death Stranding 2 as well, and this is the recurring theme through all these games that we're going to probably quickly touch upon, is that that's what they do. They took something that was good and they made it even better, and you just got such a reliably good experience out of
Hmm.
it. To be fair, I mean, that was 3 sequels already. There's so many other ones, Got like Spider-Man 2. Now I know we probably prefer the original one in terms of the story to Spider-Man 2, but Spider-Man 2 is a better video game, in terms of like the improvements to gameplay. Again, another looker on the PS5 Pro. If you're sticking with Insomniac, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is fucking fantastic. Like, it was early on in the PS5 generation when we weren't eating so good, and but it is like, it absolutely shows off everything that this as a console was designed to do, and it's a brilliant, brilliant adventure. One I'd thoroughly recommend. That's also on PlayStation Plus, I believe, as well. Scott, you had also played this one earlier this year, as did I, Ghost of Yotei, which
Yes.
again, I mean, that's lofty praise. For me, it was better than the first Ghost of Tsushima, which is excellent. Ghost of Yotei just takes all that and just refines it. It just makes the blade a wee bit sharper. I'm like, cool, excellent. It listened to the criticism and it just like, yeah, let's just go do that. And you're like, okay, cool, yeah, that's fair enough. But again, amazing game, one of the newer ones, of course, on the list. But I suppose you have to go back to the start, Scott. Demon Souls, but another one
Yes.
that we all forget about, myself included. But it's like, that is like one of the original PlayStation 5 exclusives, albeit a remake, but gorgeous and provides all the challenge that you could want. Not the hardest of the Soulsborne games, but it's still, it's going to kick your ass at points.
I mean,
You might have to choose stuff.
the fact that it's a remake, not remade by From Software, and it still manages to do it well enough. Aye, phenomenal game, brilliant
Yeah.
game.
And of course, a game of the year winner across the board, Astrobot.
Yes.
like,
Just about to say that as well. I'm surprised you didn't bring it up already.
we're going to keep them up our sleeve, Scott. Got to keep them up our sleeve. But yeah, Astrobot's a game that I shouldn't take for granted, but it's so easy to, because obviously you get a PS5. I still think they do it. You get Astro's Playroom with it, don't you? You get like it was just installed there,
Man,
and
the
that was a
wee
great move.
controller tutorial thing.
Yes, yes, and it was a fantastic proof of concept for what would become Astrobot, which is an absolutely fantastic game. And I think everyone I spoke about there, a platinum that's worth getting in every single one of them. I don't have all of them, but I have it on some of them. Got in God of War, Horizon, Spider-Man, Astrobot, Ratchet and Clank. I'm in process of getting Ghosts of Yoti. I'm only a few off that. You've got Death Stranding 2. Demon's Souls doable. I think you just
I
need
mean,
to do 2
it's
playthroughs
very,
for it.
very doable. Games like Returnal as well. It's a
There you
tough
go.
ass platinum, but it's brilliant to do. Things like, as you say, Spider-Man 2, even like, things like Final Fantasy 16. I got that as well, but when that came out, I don't think that's exclusive anymore. If it's not, it's soon to be not exclusive.
I think it's
Rebirth
worth
was
a shout.
exclusive at that point.
Yeah, worth a shout.
Things like that, yeah, 100%. Even like fucking stupid. You're talking about, not all games have to be 10 out of 10. Some of them can be a 5, 6, 7 out of 10. Rise of the Ronin was another
Yes, I've
one
got
that
it on
we
my list.
enjoyed. That brilliant one that I want to show love to. A fucking absolutely brutal platinum, but a fucking phenomenal game nonetheless. And I mentioned it earlier on, Stellar Blade.
Yep.
It is possibly one of the best games for combat that I've played in a very long time. Up there with Sekiro. It is a good looking game. It's got a fucking excellent soundtrack. And you also get to look at a half naked woman on your screen for almost the entire playthrough, which is a
That
little
floats
bit
your
of a
boat.
fucking weird conversation to have with your wife. It's like, why is she wearing that? Like, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. But that was a great platinum. And that's I think that one of the criticisms for the PS5 has been, sequels and remasters and remakes and stuff like that of older titles, but the remakes have been necessary because they've been fucking good for it. The Last of Us Part 1, The Last of Us Part 2, fine, give me it on PS5. The director's cut for Ghost of fucking Tsushima, give me that as well. Of course I'll go back and play that. Um,
Uncharted collection as well.
Uncharted collection, yeah, 100%. So it's like, fucking fire it all at me. I'm that meme with the hot dogs, and it's just like the person being, oh, like, again, throw it all at me. Go for it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, I suppose to round it off, I mean, that's a solid list. I mean, to be fair, without being greedy, all those games, you could sit and play a lot of these for the rest of the generation. No bother. In fact, a lot of these games I still return to. Astrobot being a regular one in the rotation. My son absolutely still loves Astrobot. He's probably played it for longer than I have, despite me platinum it. And that's his Mario 64. You know what I mean? That is what
Mhm.
that game has become to, I feel, a lot of boys and girls this generation. And if you're a kid and you've got a PlayStation in the home and your parents got Astrobot, that is what that game's going to become to you, because it's so easy to pick up and play, and it teaches you a lot about 3D platformers, and it's also somehow expertly weaves in challenge for like old nutters such as ourselves, where we can go. And I remember like there's some of the challenge runs in the way to the platinum in that, and you're sitting there like that. This is taking a few more tries than I would like here. I'm not liking this. Come on, Astrobot, but precision platforming down to a fine art. Yeah, Helldivers 2 as well. I know that's one just to give a
Yeah.
shout out. I know you loved that. But I think ultimately for me, it's like, has a generation delivered, to answer the original question? I think it has been a hit. If I think about it, I've loved the games. The console's rock solid. The experience playing on it has been better than PS4. It might lack that wee extra bit of pizzazz, that wee wow moment, something brand new and not a sequel. Yes, it is a bit of a sequel heavy generation for me. I mean, I listed about 13 games there, and only 4 of them were not sequels. So in that regard, it's like there's that balance piece I would like a wee bit more, but that's just me splitting hairs at this point and just being, a fussy consumer. I think ultimately, I think it has delivered. If you've got one, I think you would say it's been a great time. And my only hope really is that I hope this generation lasts a long time. We've both been saying that for months, but despite my feeling on that, I feel like it has every opportunity to almost start from now, and that's just because of the likes of the pandemic. Now I know I say that as a total fool, and this time next year we're talking about the PS6. Leak report as it's about to get revealed next June. You can see the usual, your Jeff Grubbs and your Jason Schreiers and all that. They're all leaking stuff. Nate the Hates. You can see it all starting to. The dominoes are in place, and they're leaking stuff this time next year. We're talking about the PS6. It's over £1,000. All that stuff. But I could honestly say the PS5 and the PS5 Pro still a very safe bet, and it feels like the getting's just getting good with it. I feel like it's delivered, and it's only going to get better just now. So that's probably my final thoughts on it. Scott, I don't know about yours.
I'm with you. Aye, it's been one of those things where what you it's really what you make of it. Do you know what I mean? The console generations are going to be what you make of it. If you want more exclusive games, then fine. If you're happy with it being third-party console of choice, then that's also okay as well. It's a damn good console for everything that you want it to do, and it stands up to everything that you throw at it, basically. As you say, excellent for all that. PlayStation Plus is a more attractive prospect than it ever has been as well, and that continues to grow arms and legs. And I think that the tiered system on that is a lot less confusing than it is on Xbox, which is its sort of main competitor. So it obviously has to stand up against that. But I think it's just we're lucky because we own all of these consoles. Do you know what I mean? Like we own all of them. So it's like
Six people.
yeah. If we were on the fucking, if the shoe was on the other foot, and you're talking to me as a sole Xbox owner who doesn't have a PlayStation, is considering the PlayStation, all of those games are reason enough to buy it. One of those games is reason enough to buy it. So I think that it's just, if you were on the fence, maybe have listened to this podcast a week ago now, but it's fucking too bad now. But get in while the getting's good. Have a look for deals. Buy second hand. Buy a used console if you can, if you need to. Prices are probably still going to be decent there, but
Get a deal on PlayStation Plus. A lot of these games are on that tier.
yeah,
On
exactly.
the Essential and Plus.
I was just
tier,
talking about I'm just talking about the console. Like,
Yeah.
buy that second hand, buy it used, refurbished, do whatever you need to do. Sell a limb to buy it, go for it.
Lie, cheat, steal.
No, lie, cheat, and steal. Nonetheless, just do it, man. Do the damn thing. Buy yourself a PlayStation and enjoy good games.
Yeah, well, they do. There we go then. I mean, I suppose if you are one of those people that have just jumped on board this with the PlayStation 5, did you get in front of the price hikes? If not, are you still tempted to pick one up if you've not got one, despite the price hikes? We'd love to hear from you. Just let us know in the comments or drop us an email at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. But it was kind of good to kind of talk about this. Like I says, we spent a couple of weeks ago doing the patch notes talking about the price thing, and you always come away from it just feeling a bit deflated. This was actually quite good to kind of almost do like a generation in review. And actually, it's pretty good to be a PlayStation gamer despite the things that we don't like to see, which is the price hikes. And I suppose before I move on, a very, very quick and small shout out to the peripherals, such as the PlayStation Portal and even like the DualSense itself, DualSense Edge as well. Maybe not so much PSVR 2, even though I've heard it's a fantastic bit of kit. That's still a little niche baby, but I can't quite comment on that, so I can't give it a shout out. But they have had their successes there as well, and they've proven that they're still just wanting to kind of make sure that PlayStation feels like the best place to play. From a console perspective, I think it's undeniable. It still is. You'll have a good time.
And before you move on, Liam, there's also a rumoured state of play coming up, hopefully within the next week or so.
Yep.
So, talking about news about the Black Flag remake, we'll
Mhm.
hopefully get a wee bit of fucking news about Wolverine, as well as all the shit about Tokon Fighting Souls, who's going to be in this game, and also you know probably another trailer for Pragmata or
There will be.
Onimusha or something like that. Hopefully, get some news about Onimusha because we heard so much about that game in the first year of knowing about it, and then it's just fallen off a cliff and died. So,
Yeah.
give me some more of that shit.
100%. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls could be just more of that, please, is what I'm really looking for from this generation. I digress. I think we should move on. Sick of talking about all these fighters, but it does mean that it's time for us to go on to the Pixel Picks Showdown, where each week we each pick a game from our chosen theme and decide which one deserves to live on the hallowed Pixel Picks list, which is a definitive list of the best games we recommend and pass on to the next generation of gamers. The last week's theme was the best movie tie-in game, with Spider-Man 2, the movie, becoming the latest addition to that list.
I'm so
And this week's
high.
indeed. In this week's list, we're going to be debating the best timeless classic game we think should feature on the Pixel Picks list. Now, as always, last week's winner goes last. I believe that was me. Scott, we've only got 2 more entries into this list to round off the top 100 here. So this is kind of one of the last kind of tap-in opportunities we've got to kind of get a game we believe is a timeless classic game on there that could probably go beyond just a single category. All it has to do is basically make its case for being a game that can transcend generations. Forget PS5 as a singular thing. No matter what console you're playing it on, you're going to have a good time. So, Scott, if you please, honourable mention and your pick, please, sir.
If you please. Given my history this week, this was actually an easier one for me. Now I can't stop singing fucking Hero as well.
Awesome.
Oh no! It's not even the right film either. Yeah, an easier one for me this week. My honourable mention for this week is a game that I cannot tell if it's on the list or not, and it's only my honourable mention because of that. If it wasn't, then it would be the choice that I was going to make it. But timeless classic for this week. Honourable mention is Super Mario World, Liam. Seeing parts of the Mario movie that referenced that game brought it all flooding back that I had to go back and play it for a little bit. And that game is as good now as it ever has been. Do you know what I mean? You could release that game now and nobody would bat an eyelid. The fact that it's still used as part of the Mario Maker series and is the best part of that says everything you need to know about that game. And shout out to the castle theme because it is fucking incredible, and it still is to this day. But my choice is one that I have started playing. So I lied a little bit earlier on, Liam, because I said that I was thinking about playing it, but I actually have already started it, and I've already started my journey through it, finished the first dungeon. But my choice for this week is a game from the Zelda franchise, and that game is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, because it is fucking brilliant. Hearing that overworld music, just it's like, oh, take me on that journey, and it's just it's a roller coaster ride from start to finish. It has all the DNA of the Zelda games that you know and love, and it does it all in such a tight package that playing that game on a handheld console back in the day, was playing that on a handheld console now feels like you're cheating, because it's like I shouldn't be able to play this now. I should be sitting down in front of a TV enjoying this bloody game, but I'm not. I'm playing it on my Nintendo Switch too, and I am loving every fucking second of it. So the fact that I played that game, many, many, many moons ago, and I'm still enjoying it to this day, is that not the definition of a timeless classic, Liam? I think so.
True. I'm assuming you're meaning the original.
Yeah, of course.
Like the Pepsi, of course. I'm also I'm also like buffering a little bit, so I'm picking up parts of the conversation here, just dribs and drabs. But I think I've got the gist of it. But yeah, I want to send you a little bit of homework as well. Whilst you're on your quest, you're already in a quest. Which is, do you still have your 3DS? Damn it! And I'm going to have to send you a proper quest. You have to try and find a 3DS, legally or illegally, or allegedly try and play A Link Between Worlds
Uh,
once you've finished this.
we'll tell you this, Liam. I have already played A Link Between Worlds because I had it in my 3DS many moons ago.
Good. So good. Not enough people played that game. Pains me. One of the best Zelda games out there. And speaking of which, I'm going to my honourable mention myself, Scott. Um, a game that I'm really hoping that you play, because it's my favourite in the series. And for many reasons. One, that it's one that myself and my dear cousin had enjoyed playing many, many moons ago, and that was The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. The dark sister to Ocarina of Time. A very, very strange game. A very, very what's one? Uneasy feeling game. And one that you, when you think about it, what the hell were Nintendo thinking in releasing it? But end up being something fantastically special. May feel obtuse at first, especially when you're kind of getting down the structure of the game at first, but follow a guide, go through it, and it is worth it. It doesn't take away from that experience at all. Kind of very similar to the advice you gave me many moons ago when it came to like Bloodborne and stuff like that. Just like use a guide, find the joy, and go from there. And before you know it, you're smashing the dungeons and getting your platinums. But yeah, Majora's Mask is my honorable mention this week. For me, I have to try and take the swings where I get them, Scott, because we only have two more swings left. And for me, I wanted to, in the spirit of what we had this week, experienced as a family, and it had to be Super Mario Galaxy, which is I'm going to be putting forward as the best timeless classic game this year. Granted, not as old as your pick, however, it's not young either, as much as I hate to admit it. It's nearly 20 years old, that game, which makes me want to be violently sick. Yeah, 19 years old, and we've recently had it re-released not once but twice. Super Mario 3D All Stars, and it's also been re-released again last summer with the Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 collection. Now, I do believe that Super Mario Galaxy 2 is the better game out of the two. However, you've got to give props to the OG and Super Mario Galaxy with the music, with the whole theme, and just proving the concept of what you could do with a Mario game, and surprising everybody to be like, wow, that it's not just going to be just another rehash or another failed experiment like Super Mario Sunshine. They can actually go one better. So yeah, I'm going to be giving it to Super Mario Galaxy because I have witnessed that myself with my son going to play that now and just seeing that joy and that feeling. And even if you're young or old, it still has that. When you play Super Mario Galaxy, something extraordinary happens. You get just that feeling of wonder and joy as you do as a kid playing it. And yeah, that's why it's getting my nod this week, Scott. I don't know, are you getting any buffering issues as well?
I have been getting it throughout recording of
Yeah.
this episode, Liam.
Apologies. I was just saying that Super Mario Sunshine was trash. That's all.
Yeah, I heard that part. I wish you had buffered that bit because it's all lies. You know, that's the scene from, what do you call it? Oh, the scene from that Christopher Nolan movie, Memento. And it's like that picture of Joe Pantoliano. It's like, don't believe his lies. But that's you talking about Super Mario Sunshine. The goal to fucking tarnish that game's good name.
The third best game in the 3D All Stars collection.
Shite bag. Absolute shite bag.
I want to be a gentleman, and also I honestly can't pick between these two, and I'm refusing. So I'm wanting you to do it for us this week, Scott, because these are two of the best games ever that are near and dear to us. But I need
I
to pick.
I
I'll be happy either way.
I don't want to pick purely because I'm a bit biased against Super Mario Galaxy because I don't care for it. I think it gets too much hype. To be honest with you, it's definitely no Super Mario Sunshine. I tell you that. Um, that's the
That's better.
that's the connoisseur's taste. But to be honest with you, I don't mind. If you want to go for that, go for that. I do think that A Link to the Past is uh, it's one of the best Zelda games. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Super Mario Galaxy is one of the best Mario games. I think there are better Mario games out there, like Super Mario World, but that is my taste. It comes down to our own individual tastes. You have love for both of these games. So what would you say?
I'm going to just go based on longevity and give this one to A Link to the Past. A
Yes.
Link to the Past is such a special game, and it has had its HD ports, it's had all the rest of it, and yeah, it's one of those ones that you can play it. Just are you playing the OG? Or are you playing like the Switch Online version just now? What one is it playing?
I'm playing the Switch Online version at the
Okay,
moment.
that's fine. Just double checking that you're not allegedly finding other means to play it. But even at that, that's a game that you put on there. That's a statement. It's a big feature of the Switch Online service. It's that good. It's timeless, and it takes you right back to a different era in gaming. But you can still get completely lost in it, and it still informs what the series has become today, and other bigger games like the Crest. Without the likes of A Link to the Past, you might not have an Elden Ring, that type of stuff. It's it's definitely worthy of that, and I'm more than happy for that one to go in there because I think it is. It's a timeless classic. So,
Yes.
congratulations to the Legend of Zelda: A Link to
Yes.
the Past. I do believe that Zelda has the most entries of any other gaming franchise on our list, but you might have to come back in a couple of weeks, guys, because next week we've got number 100, and we'll just wait and see what we're going to do with these top 100 for you after that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, they are the next entrance on the Pixel Picks list as our best timeless classic game. But of course, that does mean that brings us to an end to this week's podcast. So thank you once again for joining us. Remember, go support all the small independent games made out there. If you like what you hear and enjoy the podcast, just share online, social media, tell your pals about us. Leave us a wee 5-star review. Whatever you do helps us out, makes a huge difference. Remember as well, you can join us on our free Patreon community at patreon.com/Pixel Parents to support the show, which means now it's test time. Scott, where can people find you online if they want to hear about your escapades in Hyrule?
You can't. Nobody is allowed to follow me anywhere online. Get away from me, you fucks. Boo. Pantomime villain. Boo. No,
You
I'm
can
on Blue
follow him on
Sky.
Truth Social.
I'm a man dog.
Um,
bsky.social. I have been trying to limit my use of social media the last little while. Because it's just not bringing me any joy anymore. It's just like bad news central and people with fucking horrendous opinions. So I've just been watching
quite right.
videos of people post colonoscopy farting and videos about dogs. So that's been fun.
Oh man, well, I'm with you in that one. Applaud you for that one. It's true. Social media is not the be all and end all, and I also would like to echo that. You can get me at carmelite.bsky.social on Blue Sky. I will also say if it's not making you feel good or sociable, don't go on it. And remember, everything doesn't have to come back to video games. Talk about other stuff. And now more than ever, it's more important to not bury your head in the sand. If you want to kind of voice your opinions about other stuff that's happening out there, just go for it. Just go for it. Like, it shouldn't be an echo chamber. I know there's been a little bit of discussion about people leaving Blue Sky. I'm not moving again for that. But it's just like, I can understand, there's always, for all of its positives, I think there has been a wee bit of a discussion about the toxic positivity aspect of it and how everything has to come back to games. And you can sometimes create a negative pressure on people by doing that a little bit. So, yeah, sometimes it's good to get out the chamber and just take a wee break. It's good for the old mental health at the end of the day and how you're feeling.
If we're moving, Liam, we're going to Truth Social. Find us on Truth Social, where everyone does all their best reporting. That's just a really good place to be.
Jeez, do you know the funniest thing was when that fuck put out those horrendous messages over the Easter weekend and people were like, is it AI? And it's like, the fucker actually made a Truth Social and people still think it's fake. That's how bollocks it is. Anyway, I digress. I want to give a massive thank you to our producer and music man, the very talented and handsome Mr. Sean Murray. So go show him some sweet nasty love. Check out his work on Instagram at barehandsdesigns and barehandsdesigns.com. You can listen to the next episode on all your major podcast platforms of choice and follow us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social. Of course, even write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. Wherever you are, just like, share, subscribe, and as we always say, just play the damn games. But until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening.
My ankle hurts, Liam. So much. It is unreal.
Hopping mad. Didn't have a leg to stand on in some of those segments.